This week on The Big London Issue, emceeing with Radio 1 DJ Spoony from Dream Team.
To me, the most important thing about education is that people are getting the information that they need to get.
Partying in a record-breaking nightclub.
It is officially the Guinness Book of Records, world's smallest nightclub.
And sampling bug grub with the man who eats insects.
Insects are just flying prawns. I mean, that's all they are. So if you can eat a prawn, you can eat an insect.
And that's tonight's Big London Issue. Life at street level in the world's favourite cities.
And I tell you what really pisses us off, those stupid road bumps. Secret
No, they're not
police...
called road bumps these days, they're called traffic calming measures.
Traffic calming. They don't do anything for the drivers. They certainly don't calm the drivers.
No, that's true.
I mean, the thing is, apart from ruining the bottom of your car, you have to go over them so slowly. It's absolutely outrageous.
What happens is you go slow over the bumps and then you speed up as soon as you're over them, so I don't really think it works.
Yeah, so all you hear is thump, thump, some bad David Bowie dance track. Anyway, get rid of the sleeping policeman, wake them up and tell them to get out there and drive around and get some real bloody criminals.
Hey, what's up now?
Brother, what's up?
This is a groovy party, man.
Yeah,
I
brother,
can dig it.
solid. Right on.
I've been doing it for about 15 years now. Got into it just watching a friend of mine at a local youth club. Fascinated how he got from one deck to another without any pausing, using this little black box that I now know to be called a mixer. And that was it, really. The DJ Spoony was born.
Spoony loves his music, but now he's teaching his emceeing skills to a tough new audience. Kids who've been excluded from mainstream education. And it's helping them get back in the habit.
I got into DJing with this school about 2 months ago now. There's 2 DJs, me and Paul, and they come into our school on a Thursday afternoon and they teach us how to mix and they teach us how to count in our heads from beats and bars, and you know, so we learn everything that we're supposed to be doing if we were going to be doing DJing as a career. The DJ classes have helped my attitude towards coming to school. It makes me feel good when I do it, so therefore I behave myself so I can get to do it.
Bigger Fish is an organisation dedicated to the education of young people through entertainment.
The founder, Nee, he realised that children who didn't want to sort of partake in the normal school curriculum may be interested in learning through music.
We provide modular curriculum, teaching various things like DJing and MCing.
You know, he contacted me with a concept and the idea, and he said that it'd be a lot easier for me to get this up and running if I could put a name to them that they may recognise. Maybe one they don't like, but at least one they recognise.
We have a lot of support from the music industry. We bring in guests who come in and speak to the young people and help provide positive role models.
I thought it was a great idea and lended a hand. I want to know, really, in your own words, why you're here.
Here to do this, yeah, to become better than you, mate.
That's fair enough.
I left mainstream school, not because I was kicked out, but because other circumstances. It's like I had to move to another area altogether, so it wasn't convenient for me to go back to that school. And I moved around quite a few times within that period of time, so there wasn't a chance for me to actually attend a school and go regularly because, like, next week I'll be moving.
I'm here to prove I can DJ.
The other people that I go to school with, some people have been kicked out of school for fighting, some just not attending their classes and being truant, and others just, you know, just disrespecting everybody.
Life don't necessarily have to stop. You don't make it through school, you don't get loads of A-levels, you don't get a degree. It doesn't have to stop there. You know, I haven't got a degree, but music has been my thing, and there's no reason why any of you can't do the same thing. James has told me he's here because he wants to be better than me, which is like cool, because you know, in life you set your standards and you achieve your goals and you set them high.
I believe the mixing class has changed the attitude of my schoolmates in a positive way, because before I don't think they really had anything to look forward to. There was nothing to come to school for apart from sitting in a classroom and doing work which they weren't particularly interested in. Whereas now they come to school because they know that nearer the end of the week they've got something that they're going to do, that they're going to enjoy, and you know, they like it. So they're not going to be silly about it, and you know, they're not going to do anything to jeopardise that.
It's 6 weeks later, and the students are doing it in public for the first time.
I've got to perform in about half an hour, and I'm really, really, really nervous. I'm like, really don't want to do it, but it'll be a positive thing. But it's because I've learned in a small class of people, and not in front of other people. It's just been the class, so I'm used to doing it in front of the class, and I'm just a bit nervous.
Out of everything that I've seen and heard here today, the one thing that has really stuck in my mind has been the support that everyone had for each other. That when, you know, the mix was nailed and that, the cheering and all of it, that has been the most heartwarming thing. And if outside of here you take that, it will make you all better people. So that's a round of applause for everyone. To me, the most important thing about education is that people are getting the information that they need to get. And if people have fallen short of the normal mainstream way of education, then we as a society have to find another way of getting that information across. In this instance, we use music. You know, it was funny, I was listening to Marvin Gaye's album the other day, and just thought there's so much you could get out of music. You know, there's been times where I've wanted to say something and couldn't do it, and I've said it through a song, or, you know, written a letter that quoted big parts of a record.
Okay, the door policy for the Permanencia sounds very free and open unless we don't like the look of you.
Go to any major music festival and you'll find a club with a difference.
We come along here and the boys put it all up, and we sell some t-shirts, and I stand here and collect all the money from all the suckers who buy all our merchandise. And apart from that, we play some really, really crap tunes, have it very tiny, and generally jump around like idiots. The dance floor itself is 2 metres squared, which is about 4 foot by 5.5 foot. It's a full flashing dance floor. And the rest of the club is all glitzy, and we've got a disco light, mirror ball, UV and all the rest of it. It's got to be kind of hands in the air and everyone's boogieing together, otherwise it gets a bit smelly anyway because the armpit thing, but you know, 16's the maximum really.
Come on, sir, come on, sir. Come on, it's a nightclub. Come on. In you get.
It is officially the Guinness Book of Records, world's smallest nightclub. It was a pleasant byproduct of, no, it wasn't intentional. We don't really have that kind of far-sighted nature, really.
Plenty of room. We don't want any of those YMCA kind of moves in there.
It's the best club I've ever been to ever in my whole life. I've been to loads of clubs.
Door policy for the Permanencia sounds very free and open unless we don't like the look of you. We don't want no bother, we don't want no troublemakers, and we don't want no slackers. In, you dance, you're out, you stay out. All right, no problem.
We noticed that everyone wanted to, you know, be having it small, and we got together and we did it, and this is the result, really. Find out we're very in demand in all the smallest places where there's not very much going on at all. We're perfect for it.
about time we told you what really pisses us off about London. We do breakfast radio every morning, and every morning we have to get here. And just getting around the city is useless because everywhere you go, there's holes. Councils just dig holes. They put all those kind of safety rails around them, and they just disappear. How slow do these people work? I've seen pieces of London, major thoroughfares, that have been dug up for at least 3-4 months. It's like they want to try and keep the job going as long as they possibly can to make more and more money out of it. You sit in a cab for an hour and people go, sorry mate, it's, I don't know, Gower Street was up the other day. I didn't realise that Good Street was up as well. And like, have you seen Piccadilly Circus?
The thing is, they seem to have chosen the same time to do it all. All the boroughs must have got together and thought, let's really screw the place up.
It is absolutely laughable. If it wasn't so embarrassing, so stupid and so lame-brained, it would be completely hilarious. It's like a sitcom. It's just everywhere you go in London is dug up, about to be dug up, or just being finished dug up.
Can't get their act together, can they?
It is frightening, and if they ever want London to be thought of as an international city, a place to do business, a place for tourists to walk around without falling into a pothole, then they better get those bloody holes filled up now.
Get your act together, boys.
They're hidden away, but like lots of big cities in England, London has an extensive network of canals. Now, you probably think canals are well dead as a working form of transport, but you'd be wrong. Alan Akhurst makes his living on the canals, and it takes him right to the heart of the city.
We've been working narrowboats off and on for 12, 13 years, but I've owned these boats for the last 5 years and delivering coal full-time for the last 3. At the moment, we are the only coal boats working in and out of London. We've built our business on being regular and reliable. Our customers know when we're coming, and they leave us notes on the boat, tell us how much they want, or they give us a ring, and they either leave us the money or we deliver the coal and then pick the money up the next time we're passing. And we have a lot of fun with our customers as well as just about making a living. What we call the towpath telegraph is quite amazing. Things can happen on the canal and people will know about it 50 miles away up the towpath within 3 or 4 hours. It really is unbelievable the way news travels on the canal. You can't do anything on the canal without somebody else knowing about it. Very few people in London know what happens on the canal. The canal is probably either somewhere to walk along for some people or somewhere to chuck their rubbish for a lot of other people. Unfortunately, the canals, certainly in London, are used an awful lot for depositing rubbish, which is a great shame. We get all sorts of things we roll over with the boat, shopping trolleys, motorbikes. Children, unfortunately, have a great way of managing to fill the canals up with an awful lot of dross. Through London, there are something like 35 miles of waterway from Southall in the west to Enfield in the northeast. And we can carry goods through that distance, up to 40 tonne on this pair of boats, and with virtually no damage to the environment whatsoever. Yeah, sure, it may take a little longer, but really with most goods, does it matter? If people think ahead a little bit, then it doesn't matter if goods are on a boat for 2 days rather than 2 hours, because all the time that the goods are on a boat, the company has free warehousing. This house we've just passed here on the towpath is one of our customers that runs central heating using diesel fuel. They're unable to get a lorry up the towpath, so we supply their diesel from the canal. We do this to some houses up and down the canal, diesel and coal. You have to be fairly fit and agile on this job. It's no job for a weakling. We've moved about 260 tonne of coal in this winter. And when you think that's loaded onto the boats, moved off, probably moved 2 or 3 times afterwards. So I've probably physically handled over 1,000 tonnes this winter. Our usual round-trip journey from the coal yard that we load at in Northamptonshire to Limehouse is something like 186 locks. So every round trip which we do in a month, we have to do 186 of these, uphill and downhill. This is the hard bit of the job. This is where we put the effort in. another job done. It's a wonderful way of life because there's very little stress. I won't say there's none, because we run a business on the waterway, so there's always stress in a business. But the world is a whole different place at 4 miles an hour. You have time to see people, you have time to see nature, you have time to see the things around you, which you don't get in a car on busy streets. It's absolutely fabulous, and on a day like this, it's really wonderful.
London is full of people who are full of opinions, and some of them are full of... but here's a man with strong views about oily fish.
My favourite fish is kippers. I love them. We live in an island and we hardly eat any fish, and there's lots of them. We could easily make herring available to people that eat convenience foods. Why not a herring burger or a kipper burger? Would you eat a kipper burger? Nobody's fed them anything nasty or changed them to look nice on a supermarket shelf. They're purely organic food. I think the best time to have herring burgers are in July and August, right at the height of the barbecue season. Why not slip on a few kippers? They're a bit salty, so it makes you drink lots and lots of beer afterwards.
Here at Oxford University, I'm the assistant curator of entomology, which is insect study.
In the world of entomology, there's nobody bigger than George McGavin. His appetite for insects has taken him all over the world on the lookout for more, but not just to boost his collection.
Now, the trouble with collecting insects in the UK is that the majority of them are actually rather small, and that's why we don't eat insects here in the UK, because you would use more energy up finding them than you would get back by actually eating them. Of course, in hot areas of the world, where insects are large and swarm, that's where insect eating has evolved. And in fact, in some countries in the world, when locusts swarm, the price of meat actually drops because it's far easier to harvest a meal from your back garden than it is to actually buy meat. So it's just habit, it's a social habit, if you like. So it takes quite a bit for somebody to overcome that fear and to say, all right, I'll try it. But of course, insects are just flying prawns. I mean, that's all they are. So if you can eat a prawn, you can eat an insect.
I've never eaten anything like this before, and I doubt I will be again. They look absolutely disgusting.
Have you seen how spiky the black ones are? George is our ecology tutor, so he's roped us into this.
He's been telling us that it's the way forward for the human race to start eating insects because they're full of energy and protein, and there's loads of them, and
low fat,
high protein,
easy to farm,
etc. We're not entirely convinced as yet.
Of course, it's not a great idea to just eat anything, because there are some insects which are not very good to eat. Obviously, if insects are brightly coloured black and red, that's warning that it perhaps isn't all that edible. Things which are green and hidden are best. Also things which are herbivores. I wouldn't eat anything which was an omnivore, which ate any old muck, and I certainly wouldn't eat an insect which was, say, breeding in excrement, obviously. So there are things which you avoid, and of course if you don't know, the best thing to do is to buy reared insects like crickets, which are available in a pet shop. That's a good sort of... Oh, there's one escaped. Come here. You shouldn't eat them off the floor, of course. Right. So I think that's enough for us, isn't it?
Well, I suppose so.
That's about...
For starters, yeah.
That's for starters. That's about, 30 each, I suppose. You put them in the freezer or a fridge until they chill down and become inactive, and then you pour boiling water over them, which sort of par cooks them and cleans them up a bit. You will adore it. This is going to be a taste experience. Right. Lovely jubbly. And then we get a bit of ginger. Oh, I do like a bit of ginger.
Did you make up the recipe, George?
Yeah, as I go along, I make it up. Yeah. No, honestly, it's very, very easy. You just simply take any old stir-fry recipe, and as opposed to using prawns or chicken, you use bugs.
Do you ever cook them in other ways apart from stir fry?
You can if they're large, like a locust. You can grill them, you know, and fry them and stuff. Yeah, but this is actually easy, and it's something which is very, very quick, of course, as well. You really have to get your wok hot first, and then you put your oil in. Now I'm using a sort of stir fry oil, but you can just use ordinary oil. And you're whizzing it around there. Then you wait until it gets quite hot, until it begins to sort of smoke a bit, yeah? There you see, and there you go. In go your spring onions and your garlic. And almost straight away we can whiz in the crickets. So there they go. Whizzy, whizzy, whizzy. Cricket, cricket. And just whiz them around for about 2 minutes. You want it to be cooked quite fast. If it's cooked slowly, it's soggy. You don't want a soggy cricket. The great thing with these guys is that you can actually put the whole thing in, you know, head, wings, and everything, you see. Whereas if you use larger insects, the legs can be a bit sort of crunchy.
So you have to chop them off?
Yeah, and you just chop them off. That's becoming just nice. Then a few vegetables, just to make it interesting. A few bean sprouts, a few mange too. I think we'll just chop some mushrooms as well, actually.
It smells all right, but I don't think it's the crickets that smell. I think it's the garlic and ginger. It smells all right, though.
I normally finish off this dish with soy sauce, and always use the pale soy. Don't use the heavy soy, because it's far too strong. Boy, I'm hungry. And then whiz that round again. And that is that. Quick, simple, cheap. Now I doubt if you could find a more tasty stir fry than that.
They're looking interesting at the moment. I don't know whether we're going to have any spiky legs getting caught.
Choking to death.
Yeah, the black ones look quite spiky actually, so...
There you are. I shall have a black one. Au naturel.
Mmm.
Oh, I wish you could see their eyes.
No, it's fine. Not bad at all.
Oh, that's quite tasty.
Oh, there's a nice one. Look at a black and a brown.
They taste a little bit kind of fishy. Not like fish, but kind of like prawny, yeah. Because of the legs, a bit like prawns.
They have a sort of crunchy outside, and then the inside is quite soft.
You can eat their tummies. Oh.
There's a crunchy one. That's good. That is good. I'll have some more now. I'm just hungry now.
Next week on the Big London Issue, how they plan to transform that other power station.
Here's Battersea Power Station, Brian. Give us a tenner for it.
We meet the garden gorillas in deepest Sussex.
We've got an outlawed vegetable garden where we grow all these outlawed vegetables.
And Bill actress Sam Robson and her friend.
Mine's a whippet. What's yours?
That's next Friday at midnight on LWT. If you would like a copy of our free publication with more details about the topics featured in the Big London Issue, please call 0870 400 2214. That's 0870 400 2214. Or see text page 614.